Okay, the last class we discussed general properties of planets. Here you can see the entire solar system. The sun, the nearest planet is the Mercury, the next nearest is the Venus, then third planet is the Earth, then Mars, and then the biggest planet, the Jupiter. In between the Jupiter and Mars, we can have minor planets or the asteroids. Then after Jupiter, we can have the beautiful planet, that is the planet with a ring, that is Saturn. And after Saturn we can have this Uranus. Then after Uranus we can have the last planet Neptune, and also the path of Pluto has been shown here, which is termed as a dwarf planet nowadays. Also you can see the comets. Now in this lecture we will discuss the general comparative studies of the different 8 planets. So first planet is the Mercury. It is the planet nearest to the sun. Its distance from the sun is 0.39 astronomical unit. One astronomical unit which we have already defined, that is the distance between the earth and sun, is called 1 astronomical unit. It is 1.49 into 10 raised to 11 meters. It is also the smallest of all the planets, and its diameter is 3100 miles, or about 1.5 times that of the moon. In kilometers, its diameter is 4879, so just less than 5000 kilometers. As its maximum elongation, that is the angular distance from the sun, is 28 degree. It is a difficult object to observe. And another interesting thing regarding this Mercury is that it has no atmosphere. It is a difficult object to observe because of its maximum elongation, and which is 28 degree. Its period of revolution, it is 88 days, and if you consider the period of rotation, it is 58.4 days. That is more than twice the period of rotation of Earth. And regarding the satellite, there is no satellite for the planet Mercury. And another interesting thing regarding the Mercury is that its surface is subjected to greater extremes of temperature than found elsewhere. The extremes of temperature means the greatest temperature possible and the least temperature both occur on the surface of the Mercury. When nearest to the sun, the sunward face has a temperature at a high as 410 degrees Celsius, while the other side not far above absolute zero. So surface temperature, that the surface that faces the sun is 410 degree, and the other face is having a temperature just above the absolute zero. So the Mercury is the planet which has both extremes of temperature, the higher extreme and lower extremes of temperature. So that's all about the Mercury. Now if you consider the Venus, the second planet in the solar system, and not only the second one, it is the brightest of all planets. That means it outshines all celestial bodies except the sun and the moon. So if we observe all the celestial bodies, the brightest one is definitely the sun, the next brightest one is the moon, and the next brightest one is actually the Venus. When we consider the distance of this Venus from the sun, it is 0.72 astronomical unit. Its size is nearly same as that of Earth. Its diameter is 12,104 kilometers. You know that the diameter of Earth is 12,800 kilometers. So it is almost resembles somewhat like the Earth. So it is otherwise called Earth's twin sister. Now if you consider the atmosphere of Venus, you can see that it is surrounded by a dense atmosphere when compared to Earth. Its atmosphere is composed of at least 90 to 95% of carbon dioxide, 0.02% of water vapor, or less than 1% of oxygen, less than 7% of the nitrogen. So its atmospheric pressure is 9,300 kilopascals. When compared with the Earth, it is 101 kilopascal. So the atmosphere is much denser than the Earth's atmosphere for Venus. And if you consider the surface temperature, it is average surface temperature is 753 kelvins or 480 degrees Celsius, and the period of revolution is 224.7 days and period of rotation is 242.9 days. This Venus is also having no satellite. The third planet is the Earth, which we have already discussed about it. Anyway, we can go through these general properties once again. It is the third planet in the solar system in which the life exists on Earth, whose mass is 5.972 into 10 raised to 24 kilograms, and the distance is 1 astronomical unit, that is exactly 1.49 into 10 raised to 11 meters, or approximately 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meters. The diameter is 12,800 kilometers, and if you consider the atmospheric pressure, it is 1.01 into 10 raised to 5, that is denoted like this, 101 kilopascals. Now if you consider the atmosphere, 78% is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen, and 9% is argon. Carbon dioxide is 0.035%, and water vapor and other elements are present on the surface of Earth, especially the gases. Surface temperature, it is average surface temperature is 288 kelvins. The period of revolution is 365 days, which is called 1 year, and rotation is 24 hours, which is called 1 day. Earth has one natural satellite, which is called Moon. So that's all about the Earth. Now let's see the fourth planet, the Mars. Mars is the red planet, which is at a distance of 1.5 astronomical unit from the Sun. Its diameter is about half that of the Earth, that is around 6,800 kilometers, and has a rather rare atmosphere. The atmospheric pressure is 0.6 kilopascals, whose atmosphere actually contains 96% of carbon dioxide, argon is 1.6 percentage, nitrogen is 1.9 percentage, and traces of oxygen, carbon monoxide, water, methane, etc. are also present on the surface of Mars. If you consider the surface temperature, which is little lower than the Earth's temperature, which is around 213 Kelvin, that is minus 60 degrees Celsius. It may reach 20 degrees Celsius at noon in the equator and minus 153 degrees Celsius at the poles, but the average temperature is taken to be 213 Kelvins. The period of revolution of the Mars around Sun is 687 days, so nearly more than 1.5 years it takes, and the rotation period is 24 hours 37 minutes, almost the same as that of Earth. When we consider the satellite of Mars, it has two satellites. One is called Phobos and another one is called Deimos. The Phobos has a diameter of 16 kilometers and Deimos has a diameter of 8 kilometers. Now another thing which we can observe on the Mars is that you may be heard about it. There are some faint narrow marks on the surface which resembles like that of a dried river, which are called canals. Also it has two white caps because its poles are very cold, so it has two white caps which alternately increase in size during the winter, and diminish with the approach of summer. They are snow caps, they are faint narrow also they are having faint narrow marks on the surface. They are called canals. Canali means channels. So the two interesting thing regarding the Mars is that it is a red planet with narrow faint marks on the surface called canals, and also it has two white caps at the poles, and diminish with the approach of the summer. Now if we consider the next planet, the giant planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet and the most massive one, whose mass is 1.898 into 10 raised to 27 kilograms, which is at a distance of 5.21 astronomical unit. And if you consider the mass of the Jupiter, which exceeds the combined mass of all the planets, it is a big and fast spinning ball of hydrogen. When we consider the diameter of this one, the Jupiter, it is 1,33,600 kilometers at the poles, and the equator, it has a diameter of 1,42,800 kilometers. Regarding the atmosphere, it has an abundant atmosphere whose value varies from 20 to 200 kilopascals. The atmosphere mainly consisting of methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and probability of water and helium are also there in the atmosphere of Jupiter. When you consider the surface temperature of Jupiter, it is 123 Kelvin, and its period of revolution is 12 years, and its period of rotation is 9 hours 55 minutes. which is the shortest one. So the fast spinning or rotation speed is highest for the planet Jupiter. And regarding the number of planets, satellites about the Jupiter, there are 69 non-satellites. Out of these 69 non-satellites, 8 are regular satellites, and also it has 4 rings too. So Jupiter is the giant planet whose mass actually exceeds the combined mass of all other planets, and which is actually a big fast spinning ball of hydrogen. It has the largest number of satellites, and also it is discovered that there are 4 rings for the Jupiter. Now, if you consider the beautiful planet in the celestial system, that is in the solar system, is the Saturn, which is called the ringed planet, which is the second to Jupiter in size and mass. It has lowest density, 0.7 times the density of water. And if you consider the distance of the Saturn from the Sun, it is 9.54 astronomical unit. And the shape, it is the most oblate planet in the solar system, which is having a 1,06,900 kilometers of diameter at the poles and 1,19,400 kilometers at the equator. So it is the most oblate planet in the solar system, which is the second to the Jupiter in size. And also about the atmosphere, which has an atmosphere similar to that of Jupiter. Main elements in the atmosphere of Saturn is hydrogen and methane, and the atmospheric pressure is little greater than 100 millipascals. 100 million pascals, not milli, it is 100 million pascals. And surface temperature is 100 Kelvin, that is minus 170 degrees Celsius. The revolution period is 29.5 years, and the rotation period is 10 hours, little greater than the spinning rotation time of Jupiter. And if you consider the number of satellites, it is having 53 satellites are observed for Saturn, and out of these 53, 24 are regular satellites. Another distinguishing feature of Saturn is its magnificent system of 7 concentric rings in the plane of its equator, which makes Saturn one of the most beautiful objects in the heavens as seen through a telescope. So it has 7 magnificent rings. So that's why it is called the ringed planet. So Saturn is named as the ringed planet. The red planet is the Mars, giant planet is the Jupiter. Now the next planet is Uranus. It is discovered in 1781. It is surrounded by an atmosphere resembling that of Saturn and Jupiter, and has an atmospheric pressure of 100 million pascals. It is at a distance of 19.2 astronomical unit away from the Sun, and the diameter is 50,724 kilometers. Its surface temperature is 73 Kelvin, and revolution is period of revolution is 84 years, and this is the planet which is having almost or nearly circular orbit. The Uranus is having a nearly circular orbit. All other planets is having elliptical orbit. The rotation period is 10.8 hours, that is greater than the period of rotation of Saturn. It has 6 non-satellites, and 4 rings also have been observed for this Uranus. Now the last planet is the Neptune. It was discovered in 1846, which is at a distance of 30.1 astronomical unit from the Sun, and the diameter is almost the same as that of Uranus. It is 49,244 kilometers. Now regarding the atmosphere, it is surrounded by extensive atmosphere where methane is present. Its atmospheric pressure is again little greater than 100 million pascals. Its surface temperature is 63 Kelvin, 10 kelvins or 10 degrees Celsius lower than the Neptune, and its period of revolution is 165 years and period of rotation is 15.8 hours. It has 2 satellites. One is the larger than our moon and revolves from east to west. Orbit has highest eccentricity. So Neptune, the orbit of Neptune has the highest eccentricity. So the highly eccentric orbit is having for the planet Neptune, and the orbit is almost circular for the planet Uranus. And in the beginning we have mentioned that the 2 planets which rotates in the clockwise sense is Uranus and Venus. So that's all about the general properties of planets. We can discuss the rest of the objects in the solar system, that is comets, asteroids, meteors, in the next video. Thank you.